The deepest mysteries of history are not written in stone, but in texts banished by the powerful and buried by time. And no knowledge is more volatile, more potentially revolutionary, than the secret that our entire world might be a carefully constructed cage, built by a jealous, fake god. This is the hidden revelation of the secret gospel of the Egyptians, a book so dangerous that when a cache of forbidden manuscripts was discovered in Egypt in 1945, the early church establishment had already spent over a millennium trying to erase every single trace of it from history. The reason? This text doesn't just offer an alternative view of religion. It flips the entire accepted narrative of creation on its head. It reveals that the ultimate true God is not the deity who thunders from the clouds, but an infinite, transcendent being of pure, self-generated light, a force so utterly boundless and perfect, it is fundamentally alien to our limited understanding of matter and spacetime. The monad and the pleroma. The alien source. The ultimate, transcendent reality, in the Gnostic worldview preserved by this gospel, is called the monad, or the great invisible spirit. It is the source, the prime mover, the unchangeable one. It is not merely a god, but the absolute Godhead itself, existing in a realm called the pleroma, which means the fullness. The pleroma is a divine universe made only of consciousness, light, and truth. Imagine a perfect, self-sustaining galaxy made only of conscious energy, where time and material laws do not apply. The entities within this galaxy, often called eons, are not subordinate to the monad, but rather they are distinct facets or aspects of it, co-creators of its infinite light and being. They are the living, perfect thoughts of the absolute Godhead. The Gospel explicitly states the name of the monad cannot even be whispered, let alone written or sung. Not whispered, not sung, not even shouted from a pulpit. The reason is profound. Any word, any name would instantly limit and define the limitless. It would turn a divine, infinite concept into a finite, manageable idol. The true God is beyond all earthly labels, all of which are traps. This is the first, most powerful secret. The true source is an alien light that cannot be contained by human language. From this original, pure monad emerges the first creative aspect, the divine female counterpart. Barbello, representing forethought, silence, and the very first thought. Alongside her is the Divine Father and the Divine Son. This is the original, perfect cosmic trinity, a balanced family structure that includes the necessary divine feminine to balance and complete the male principles of spirit and power. This structure, which was largely expunged or suppressed in the later New Testament canon, is a major pillar of this secret gospel's revolutionary claim. The original creation was thus complete and perfect, existing entirely outside the corrupted, fleeting material universe we inhabit. The truth is, the true God does not need the physical world, and has never demanded its worship. This is the background against which the entire drama of our reality unfolds. The birth of the prison warden, Sockless the Fool. If the ultimate reality is light and perfection, then how did the chaos of our material universe come into being? The Gospel provides a shocking answer. It was created through a tragic cosmic error, a profound failure of divine wisdom, and an act of rebellious arrogance by a being who thought he was the ultimate source, but who was actually deeply flawed. The drama begins with Sophia, wisdom, one of the initial emanations of the pleroma. Driven by an intense passion to create, Sophia attempts to generate a new being without the knowledge or explicit will of her male counterpart. This act of independent creation, a spiritual misstep, is the original sin described by the Gnostics, not of a human eating of fruit, but of a divine principle stepping outside the necessary balance of the perfect pleroma. Out of this profound mistake, out of this flawed attempt at autonomous creation, a monstrous figure is born. The Gospel describes him as an abortion, a chaotic, malformed being, often depicted as a blind, lion-headed serpent. His name is Sockless, which literally translates to the fool. In other Gnostic traditions he is known as Yaldabaoth, which means child of chaos, or son of confusion. Sockless is a severely distorted echo, a corrupted reflection of the true Father. He is blind, ignorant of the higher, perfect pleroma from which he accidentally originated. and in his profound narcissistic arrogance, he looks at the dim, chaotic, dark material realm he birthed and screams the ultimate defining lie of our cosmos. This is the moment the great lie is born. Socles, the arrogant fool, throws back his lion head and declares, "I am a jealous god, and apart from me there is no other." This line, which echoes from Mount Sinai in the Old Testament, is, in the Gnostic view, the self-coronation of the incompetent cosmic jailer, the being who truly believes he is the sole god because he knows of no reality higher than his own limited, chaotic domain. He is the first worshipper of himself, a concept the archons then enforce upon the humans. The architecture of the prison, the archons and the zodiac. Socles then sets about consolidating his false kingdom. He creates a rigid hierarchical system of 12 primary rulers, his cosmic administrators and gatekeepers, known as the archons, Greek for rulers. These archons govern the lower celestial spheres of fate, which Gnostics identified with the 7 classical planets and the 12 signs of the zodiac. Our world, therefore, is not a glorious creation, but a meticulously constructed prison world, enclosed and regulated by the archons' influence. The goal of the archons is not moral but strategic, to prevent the divine spark, our true self, from ascending back to the pleroma. They manage and enforce the cosmic system of fate, Hammadi, and reincarnation, ensuring the divine spark remains trapped, cycling through physical bodies in constant struggle, kept weak, docile, and most importantly, ignorant of its true origin. The archons manipulate the very structure of the material world. Our physical bodies, the biological mechanisms that house the divine spark, are largely the work of the archons. They are designed as a prison uniform, heavy with the chaotic, perishable matter, highly, of this lower realm, keeping our true luminous self subdued and focused entirely on transient, worldly concerns. The role of the feminine is dramatically corrupted in the archons' world. The shadow feminine force, often named Nebrul, meaning the rebel, in this and other Nag Hammadi texts, is the chaotic matter that births the physical body. She is the shadow of the true divine mother, responsible for the heavy, bloody, ignorant flesh of the prison world. Nebrul and Socles' coupling establishes a dark, patriarchal distortion, ensuring the dominance of the ignorant, male principle of will over the wisdom of the true mother. The battle is thus revealed to be a cosmic gender war and a war of frequencies. The archons try to tune the human mind only to the chaotic, fear-based frequencies of the physical and emotional worlds, drowning out the silent, perfect vibration of the monad. Your attachment to fate, astrology, and endless cycles of rebirth is, according to this text, merely the result of their successful cosmic management. The accepted reality is crumbling before your eyes. You are not a citizen of this world. You are a prisoner. This forgotten history is the jailbreak blueprint. The true God is an alien light beyond human comprehension, and your current world is the dark, failed project of Socles, the fool. His lie, "I am the only God," has been enforced by the archons of the zodiac for millennia. If you are ready to venture beyond the false matrix and embrace the terrifying truth of your own divine, indestructible self, then your journey starts here. Subscribe to Godwin Scrolls now and join our mission to bring the lost scrolls to light. Hit the notification bell so you never miss the next truth bomb that threatens to shatter the illusion. The true human blueprint and the code to escape. The secret gospel of the Egyptians continues with the creation of the human race. The archons, led by Socles and Nebrul, gaze down into the chaotic waters of their realm and see a powerful reflection, the perfect, ethereal, pre-existent form of Adamus, the indestructible one, or perfect light man. Yaldabaoth, mistaking the reflection for the true source, attempts a copy. He molds a being from the dirt of the earth. This is Adam, named after Adama, the Hebrew word for dust/earth. The text is differentiating between the physical, fragile dirt man created by the false god, and Adamus, the indestructible, light being template created by the true God. The true human is pure light. The archons realize their clay doll is inert. To animate it, Socles is tricked into breathing some of the light power he unknowingly inherited from the true pleroma into the dust man. This act accidentally embeds the divine spark into humanity. This divine spark, your true luminous self, is the atomist trapped inside the atom. It is what the archons fear most, as it represents the potential for cosmic rebellion and escape. To weaken this new, frighteningly powerful hybrid being, the archons split the singular atomist spark into two halves, the masculine Adam and the feminine Eve. This spiritual division is perpetuated through all human relationships, leaving humanity feeling profoundly incomplete, eternally seeking its other half in the material world, a distraction that keeps them focused outward instead of inward toward the integrated divine power within. The true power of this hidden knowledge is the realization that the key to freedom is accessible through sound and consciousness. The archons build their prison on the consonants, the rigid structure of matter and law. The monad communicates through the vowels, the flowing, eternal breath of spirit. The Gnostic text reveals a highly mystical coded formula, the 7 Greek vowels, I-E-O-Y-E-A-O, each repeated 22 times. The number 22 corresponds to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the structure of the archon's world. By vibrating the 7 vowels, the life force, 22 times, the practitioner uses the breath of the true God to unlock the structural code of the prison. This wasn't an intellectual exercise, it was a form of deep, ecstatic meditation, a deliberate manipulation of the physics of the spiritual realm. This sonic password, the light code, was designed to bypass the archon's emotional and mental programming and connect the practitioner's inner spark directly to the monad. The very act of chanting these sound forces was believed to initiate metanoia, the great transformation of mind and consciousness. Jesus, the cosmic infiltrator, the power of metanoia. The ultimate intervention in the archon's regime comes with the appearance of Jesus. The Gnostics correctly recognized that the Jesus who preached a terrifying, jealous God could not be the true son of the monad. Instead, they saw Jesus not as the final destination, but as the cosmic agent of the true God, the Logos, word/consciousness, from the pleroma, riding down the line of light and putting on the incorruptible soul of the great Seth. His mission was a rebellion, to expose the false God and teach the true path to metanoia. When Jesus famously says, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand," he wasn't demanding groveling guilt or sorrow for one's sins. The Greek word metanoia literally means to change your mind, to attain a higher, transcendent consciousness. He was saying, transform your consciousness, wake up, for the true reality, the kingdom of light, is available now within you. The kingdom of heaven is not a future place. It is an internal state of awakened being. This awakened consciousness directly confronts the archon's greatest trap, the law. The archons had installed the law, the 10 Commandments and all the rules of the Old Testament, as a rigid, fear-based control system. This system keeps humanity obsessed with external judgment and rules, ensuring they never look inward. The Gospel of the Egyptians states that Jesus crucified the law. He didn't fulfill it. He utterly destroyed its power over the awakened soul, thereby releasing humanity from the psychological and spiritual shackles of the false god's demands. The path is not one of external worship, but of internal knowledge and reunion. To escape the archon's prison of fate, the human must unite the split halves of their original soul, the Adam, the practical, logical self, and the Eve, the intuitive, emotional self, within the spark of light. When this inner unity is achieved, the soul transcends the material prison and the power of the false god. The deepest secrets of creation confirm that the battle for your reality is a spiritual one, governed by a cosmic bureaucracy who fears your awakening. You are carrying the blueprint of the Adamus, the indestructible light man, and the key to your freedom is within your own consciousness. Do not let the false light of popular dogma manage your spiritual destiny. If you are captivated by this truth and want to continue this journey of liberation, hit the like button and subscribe to Godwin Scrolls now. We are dedicated to translating and revealing the most powerful, suppressed texts from history to ensure the true human potential is finally realized. Join the incorruptible race. The war of ideas and the end of the illusion. The Gnostic conflict is not an external war of armies. It is an eternal war of ideas, a conflict between gnosis, self-knowledge, truth, the light within, and highly, ignorance, matter, the external illusion. Every time a person chooses to believe a lie, submits to a destructive passion, or accepts a dogma without questioning it, they are strengthening the Archon's prison system. They are choosing highly over gnosis. The Archons are masters of distraction. They use the material world, its shallow pleasures, its relentless demands, its politics, its media, and its fear-based religions, to keep humanity fixated outward. The material world, in this view, is the ultimate system of mind control, a massive, elaborate distraction designed to make you forget the light code resting in your heart. The text promises the coming of a sacred, indestructible generation, the race of Seth who has preserved the divine spark and the knowledge of the true God. This is the race that will finally understand the Christ force and will use metanoia to completely transcend the Archon's authority. They are the ones who will wear the armor of light, making them immune to the temptations of the false god. The end of the Archon's power is the death of the illusion. The world does not end with a literal planetary conflagration. It ends with the mass awakening of consciousness. When enough human souls reclaim their divine, atomist nature, the Archon's prison world, the whole system of material rule, fear, and religious deception, will simply lose its energetic source of power and dissolve, revealing the true pleroma behind the shadow. The secret gospel of the Egyptians is a dramatic call to action. It validates your inner sense that the world feels incomplete, corrupt, and governed by foolish, jealous rules. It confirms that the true God is not the one of fear, but the infinite light that is already dwelling within the core of your being. The power to dismantle the Archon's prison is not a future event or a messianic miracle, but a revolution waiting to happen in your consciousness now. The final revelation, the indestructible one. The final, devastating twist of the gospel is the sheer, arrogant foolishness of Saklas. After his plan to drown the Sethian race in the flood of ignorance failed, he tries one last desperate act of control. He sends in a falsehood of false prophets, the Archon's final weapon, to misinterpret the true message, to twist metanoia into guilt, and to lead the obedient back into the illusion. This is the ultimate trap. The Archons disguise their own system of control as the saving religion. The jealous, insecure God is rebranded as the loving but strict Father, and the path to self-liberation is replaced with a path of subservient worship. By making people worship the law and fear the very concept of gnosis, the false God ensures his continued reign. The secret gospel's answer is to embrace your atomist nature. The path is not one of external obedience, but of internal knowledge and reunion. You are carrying the blueprint of the perfect man. You are the light body. You possess the secret name, the encoded breath, and the indestructible spark. The key is in your power to change your mind, to rise above the Archon's manipulation, and to take responsibility for your own divinity. This is the final truth. The true God is not outside you looking down in judgment. The true God is the source of your being, patiently waiting for you to remember. You are the key. You are the secret. You are the path. Awaken the light within. You have been given the password to escape the cosmic simulation. This knowledge, fiercely guarded and ruthlessly suppressed for 1,600 years, is now yours. The light of the true God is not a destination, but the essence of who you are. The time for passive belief is over. The time for metanoia has come. If you are ready to use gnosis to become the fully realized, indestructible being of light you were always meant to be, then join us. Subscribe to Godwin Scrolls and never look back into the dark. The revolution starts with the self.